Alright, round 2 for the evening legacy. We are still here with Roald, playing Elves. He is on a mulligan to 6. We saw him take down his opponent last match. Be sure to check out that match. His opponent for this round is Olwyn, who is playing Karn Post, a deck name that he was somewhat insistent on. Claiming that using the correct deck name is very important as it makes you look professional. So, there you have it. He is playing Karn Post. We'll have to see how that turns out. Now, he is starting us off with a Chalice on 1 off a City of Traders. City of Traders, usually not the card you want to use to cast that, but, you know, on Mulligan 5, you do what you gotta do, you know? Now, these players are both regulars at our store, so I mean, Alwyn, I believe, is playing this deck for the first time, but Roald usually plays Elves. Alwyn knows it. He knows Challenge on 1 is probably gonna be just absolute gas here. Now, Roald occasionally plays Alluren. He might pick that up again somewhere in the future. That's fantastic. That's a turn 1 Allosaurus Shepherd for Roald here, just completely negating the challenge on 1. You love to see it. You love to see it. Now we have a Grim Monolith coming down for Alwyn here. Doesn't look like he drew. He might have Urborg in hand. He has at least a Walking Ballista, and he has a Forsaken Monument. Now, I believe the Forsaken Monument actually goes infinite with a particular card. I'll have to look that up. In the meantime, we have Walking Ballista coming down for 2, is going to take care of the Allosaurus Shepherd, and now just passing the ball back to Roald. Elvish Visionary is a 2-drop, so that's not going to get countered. Let's see, Forsaken Monument. Colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. Whenever you tap a permanent for colorless, you add an additional colorless, and whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. It's also a 5-mana artifact. It's legendary. And what was the... Am I thinking of Basalt Monolith? Because you tap it for 4, and then you untap it for 3? Yeah, it's Basalt Monolith. Yeah. Yeah, if Alwyn now draws a Basalt Monolith and gets the Forsaken Monument into play, he'll have infinite mana, and that Walking Ballista is going to do a bunch of work. But we're not there yet. Now, Roald, it looks like, played a morph creature, which means it's going to be Birchlaw Rangers. Just a little trick to get around Chalice of the Void, which is going to be... the card is definitely going to be... it might not be relevant. Oh, that's fantastic. Roald just letting me know that that's a morphed creature. Yeah, that is 99% sure to be a Birchlaw Rangers. Which it's good to have that in play. It's good to be able to play it through a Chalice of the Void on 1, but Roald's already sitting on 4 lands. Elves doesn't need that many lands. It just needs the really good ones. So I don't think that card is going to be the thing that wins him the game here. Now, As long as it's morphed, it is a 2/2. As soon as it's turned face up, it is a 1/1. There is an argument to be made for Roll to just say, you know what, I'm gonna keep it a 2/2 until I really need an extra elf, at which point he could just do whatever. Now, Olwyn looks like he's hanging onto this walking ballista, most likely because he has the Basalt Monolith. No, not the Basalt, because he has the Forsaken Monument, and he's hoping to draw the Basalt Monolith. Worth noting, Grim Monolith doesn't do it, because while it is 1 mana cheaper to play, it's also 1 mana more expensive to untap. But still a solid artifact to be playing in this situation. This singular Cloud Post not looking like the best card. Forsaken Monument is going to come down. This Ancient Tomb now tapping for 3. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, I missed 3. And Basalt Monolith is gonna come down. That's gonna make infinite mana for Alwyn. He still has the Walking Ballista on the field. If Roald does not answer this, then we are going to game 2, and it looks like that might be what is gonna happen. Yeah, we are going to game. Right? Yeah, we are going to game 2. Now for game 2 here, we have Aldwin on a mulligan to 6, Roald keeping his 7. Sideboard-wise, I tried to find a deck list for Aldwin. I couldn't find one. On top of that, he's also playing a Karn Wishboard, so that can sometimes just completely change the sideboard. So I'm not sure what his sideboard's gonna look like. I think the Sphere of Safety was probably it was probably a main deck card. It might have been a sideboard card, but I'm not too sure on that. Now from Roald's side, there are a few interesting cards. I think Collector Roof is probably the easy include here. Just turn off all your artifacts. That's a pretty easy one. Some other considerations might be some Swords to Plowshares. I think Prismatic Ending, while cute, probably too slow, and it doesn't hit enough cards, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I think Swords to Plowshares probably hits enough targets to be worth considering, but we'll have to see on that front. There are also the possibility for Thought Seizes in Roald's deck, which that could be a consideration. Just try to take the things out of Alwyn's hand before he puts them on the field. But again, we're gonna have to wait and see. Roald might also be playing some Force of Vigor, try and hit some artifacts. Not every list plays that. I think some do, but not all of them. If it's something you're worried about, it's definitely something you can consider. But it looks like Roald right now is just riding this Gaia's Cradle as far as it'll go, and it's going pretty far. This train is definitely going a couple stations. We have 3, 6, 7 creatures already on board. Six now, with the Visionary being bounced off the Wirewood Symbiote. Gonna draw another card, and I wouldn't be surprised if next turn Roll just decides to take his creatures, turn them all sideways, and just let Alwyn deal with it. Alwyn is currently sitting on a ancient tomb against an Elves deck, which is definitely something that could be worth considering. City of Traders, gonna tap the Cloud Post, play a Chalice on 1. I think that might have been just a turn too late. Like, how hilarious would it be if the thing killing Alwyn here is the Sphere of Resistance that he himself put into play? Like, that would be just fantastic. I'd love that. Just the absolute memes here. We have Green Sun's Zenith coming out for a bunch of mana. I think that's probably Crater of Behemoth and just swinging, and we are going to game 3. Yeah, not sure if it was the Sphere, but it might have been. I like to think that it was. Game 3, both players keeping their 7. Alwyn again starting us off on a Sphere of Resistance. Now, maybe this time it'll work better, but we'll have to see. It does look like Alwyn's hand is definitely better than it was last game. Definitely has more mana already. We do see double Ancient Tomb. We see a Glimmer Post, I believe. Golos, a Forsaken Monument, a Walking Ballista, and I think the last card is Karn, the Great Creator. It's one of those alternate art Japanese cards from War of the Spark, so kind of hard to tell, but I think that's what it was. Roald's gonna fetch a Dryad Arbor at the end of Alwyn's turn. Yeah, last game, that Sphere of Resistance wasn't all that impressive. And part of it was because Roald had a Gaia's Cradle and was just able to pump through the sphere using the cradle. Glimmer Post coming out for Alwyn here. Going straight to 15. Gonna play a Walking Ballista for 2, try and keep Roald's board a little smaller. I think Dryad Arbor is most likely the target here, but Quirion Ranger is definitely a consideration here. Now, it is worth mentioning that Quirion Ranger can only pick up Forest, so Gaia's Cradle is not going to be an option. Oh, then again, if Alwyn goes for the Dryad Arbor, Roald just picks it up again. So that would kind of slow him down a bit, but doesn't really solve the issue here. Yeah, Alwyn is going to take care of the Quirion Ranger. Roald decides to bounce the Dryad Arbor anyway, just in case. No, I'm not an Elves player. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me why that was the correct play, but I'll just trust Roald on that. If he says, I'm going to pick up my Dryad Arbor here, he's picking up his Dryad Arbor here. I'm completely fine with that. We have Forsaken Monument coming down. Worth noting that Forsaken Monument doesn't actually change the the infinite mana combo. It doesn't affect the infinite mana combo once it is on the field. It's going to be a bit harder to put down as this Forsaken Monument costs 6. The Basalt Monolith is going to cost 4, but once it's down, like that 4 mana is all you're going to need for that turn. Looks like we have Wirewood Symbiote being discarded for the turn. Oh, right. So, because the Forsaken Monument gives +2/+2, the Walking Ballista now has a base power and toughness, as it were. As a result, Alwyn could use the last counter on the Walking Ballista to kill the Dryad Arbor, which means not only is the Dryad Arbor dead and can't make mana, there are no creatures on the field, and the Gaia's Cradle can't make any mana. So, Rowold discarding Wirewood Symbiote to hand size. Now, Alwyn untapping and playing a Karn the Great Creator, which is going to get his life back. So he tapped an Ancient Tomb to cast the Karn, but he has a Forsaken Monument, which gets him the 2 life back. Now, he is sitting on, let's see, the Forsaken Monument making 1 extra means he's sitting on 5. Yeah, I think that means he can cast the Basalt Monolith. Now he has infinite mana. The Walking Ballista is still on the field. You can just start pumping it, and I think that is game. If Rowold is discarding the hand size, he doesn't have anything to interact with it. No, he could have had. He could have had a Force of Vigor, again, if he's playing that, but he doesn't have the Force. He does have a bunch of creatures that were stuck in his hand, though, so that's magic for you. Alwyn takes it down, 2-1.